Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Filling in for Richard this week at the helm of the Bold and Beautiful medium, I got super lucky. In the last 5 days, the show demurred off a murder riddle, delivered some Stephanie Good sanctimonious smugness, and gave claws to a character who poorly demanded them. R.J. and Luna were on, too, however, guess you ain't have everything. Snare your electric blue sport drink and get comfy as we bandy the good, the bad, and the unattractive Thomas are proposing to Hope at what was principally his and Paris' engagement party. I give Bold and Beautiful credit for trying to beef up the number of suspects in its Who Killed Tom murder riddle by having Jack and Justin show up out of nowhere at Il Giardino the night he was cured. But I also have to take that credit down, because so far as we know, there's no reason why either of those characters would want the formerly homeless Joe dead. And the malefactor is enough obviously going to be one of them, right? The show is about to write awfully, who gets further fun, the more tightly wound she becomes, or Poppy, who's perched on the verge of times of great plot as the nut bill can't trust but also can't quit. I suppose the shamefaced party could be one of these other suspects. But let's be real. It'll be a lot easier for the cleaner to shoot someone up the swash that it has been using in periods, anyway, than someone who serves a purpose on the oil. My plutocrat is on Jack being behind the crime. Lee sounded authentically surprised to run into him at the cafe, so they do appear to be in cahoots. But if Poppy gave him a heads up that Tom was hanging to ask questions about Luna's maternity, Jack might have taken action to ensure that the same secret be kept that urged Lee to tamper with Luna's maternity test. He, like Isaac's wife, does want it coming out that Luna is the result of the summer fling during which Finn got way too close to Aunt Poppy. I am most intrigued, however, by the suggestion in the show's Friday coming-ons that another murder may formerly have passed. What, exactly, did Sheila be upon at Il Giardino that made her laugh? How ghastly would it have to be to freak out a character who formerly manacled her shrink, killed an abettor with notions, and shot enough important everyone she's ever met? And if an alternate body has turned up, whose? Is my Jack proposition going to be shot to that fast because he's joined Tom in the hereafter at this point? I guess Bold and Beautiful is committed to Poppy being a gold digger. So it doesn't make any sense that she would formerly advised Luna to stay down from the Forresters, who are principally well-dressed vaults. And it doesn't make any sense that she would have landed herself a Richie Rich long before Bill. She's lovely and delightful and carries a little commodity in her bag that ensures that her mood always improves along with her breath. By cleaner norms, she'd formerly be on her fourth ex-husband. But okay, we'll go along for the lift anyhow. Poppy clearly sounded to lean into her part as Doxy of the Manor House snappily enough. While Cleric and Hollis were formerly at Il Giardino on Tuesday, and Luna and Zend had punched the timepiece at Forrester, not that any of them were doing anything that could be called work, Poppy was hanging at Bill's in the below outfit. Which she was gone need, too, because for a plutocrat empty seductress, her poker face is absent. That said, if Bold and Beautiful is going to play any durability whatsoever, not a sure thing by any means, Poppy obviously didn't kill Tom. She started off Tuesday's occasion like someone who, A, was apprehensive that he was dead and, B, was still upset about the trouble that he posed. What was over with the waterworks when she set up out, however? Was Tom supposed to be a fling, one of numerous? Are we now supposed to suppose he was the love of Poppy's life? Sorry, but that wackadoo flashback sure didn't bend me on that idea. Steffi is so far out of line in the way that she's obtruded with Hope and Thomas' relationship that she can't indeed see the line from where she's these days. As much as I love Jacqueline McInnes Wood, her character has come unendurable. And then's the weird thing, I dig it. Why? Because it's so Stephanie. Steffi has basically converted into her grandmother, turning a eyeless eye to anything she doesn't want to see and a deaf observance to anything she doesn't want to hear. There's no talking to her, no logic with her. In her world, it isn't indeed my way or the trace, because she doesn't admit that the trace exists. Eventually, all of that makes Steffi's fights with the superlative Annika Noel's Hope, and they're constant, sense like classic Steph and Eves. Brooke clashes. Steffi tells it the way she thinks it is, and Hope insists that she wouldn't play the carpet and be walked each over indeed as she gets walked each over. The irony is that we always imagined the show turning Steffi, Liam and Hope into a redo of Taylor, Ridge and Brooke and, I suppose, for a long time it did. What I didn't see coming, however, was Steffi, Thomas and Hope being turned into another Stephanie, Ridge and Brooke, and it's the same thing, right? Steffi/Stephanie is moving heaven-earth for not a love interest but a loved one, Thomas/Ridge, in order to keep him down from the golden she hates, Hope/Brooke. Paris has just wound up being cast in the part of Taylor. Wednesday's occasion fascinated me, though maybe not the way that Bold and Beautiful would have wanted. During it, I realized that the show is playing the same plot doubly contemporaneously. On one end of the oil, you have Thomas replacing Hope with Paris indeed as he tells his ex-lover while gaping dreamily into her eyes and stroking her face. You have to stop this. On the other end, you have Bill replacing Katie with Poppy and admitting that sure, he actually said sure, too, like yeah, why not? I guess so, he has passions for Luna's mama. But what I wanted is my Katie. Still, Hope is coming off enough reasonable and hitting the nail on the head when she asserts that Thomas didn't run toward Paris, he ran from her, if you ask me. Meanwhile, he continues to act as if Hope had rejected the idea of ever tying the knot. You didn't want to marry me, argued the broken record, so I had to move on. I just wanted her to scream, I didn't want to marry you right that, bleeping, second, a hot nanosecond after my last divorce. And you didn't have to move on, Beavis, you could be just braked the bleep down and kept enjoying the sexy, satisfying relationship we were having. Of course, sense like that wouldn't work on a bold and beautiful character. Hope seems to be the only one who understands that marriage isn't commodity a person requires like oxygen and water to live. On the outside, I am loving contentious Paris. She's beyond delusional if she thinks that Thomas wouldn't leave her in a twinkle, the way he did her family, Zoe, if Hope said that she changed her mind and wanted to fight down the aisle. But at least this interpretation of Paris has some real fight in her. Not for nothing, but that hand looks further than ready to do some slapping, too. I am not loving Katie's response to Bill and Poppy, however. It could have worked if the cleaner had let us see Katie's passions for her partner awaken as it actualized on her that he was shutting the door on them ever. Rather, overnight she was each about Bill again, supposedly, she and Carter called it quits off screen. That's how dull that coupling was, they didn't indeed get to break up on screen. On top of the whiplash converting return of Katie's passions for Bill, she's just been kinda mean about his change in relationship status, and entitled, too. Did anyone feel sorry for her in the fewest when she complained that she now felt like a busybody in my own home? Ma'am, that hasn't been your home for times. And ask nearly any divorcees in the real world, they don't have an open-door policy where their former consorts are concerned. On the 4th of July, Katie, or I should say the Pens, really fumed me. All this love of my life crap with Bill might have flown if, on breaks from her recreating hubby, she hadn't gotten engaged to Ridge, boinked former stepson Wyatt and decided that Carter was the sorta stand-up Joe she merited. Obviously, Heather Tom and Don Diamant vended the hell out of the material, but Lord and Taylor, it was tacky of Katie to principally throw herself at Bill times after their last bifurcation. She was that indigent indeed when he was pretending to be in love with Sheila. And she has the whimwams to say that she gets a bad vibe from Poppy? You literally macking on another woman's man, and you still gone nah sit in judgment of her? How exceedingly tone ignorant and Logan why? Hope had bothered to attend the Forresters' 4th of July bash.